actually always been interested in criminology and into offenders' behaviors. Um, but when I started studying psychology, I was still quite unsure whether that would be the right career path for myself. But when I undertook the forensic psychology module when I was in Caledonian University, and undertook all the assignments and all the experiments and everything, I really decided that this is the right path for me. So that's when I actually started to look for a universities and programs that offer studying criminology and forensic psychology. Um, Moreover, I do believe that undertaking this program will definitely allow me to develop further my analytical skills and will give me a better insight into what crime actually is, um, into criminal behavior, and also the different forensic interviewing strategies. Also, it will give me a better understanding of what um, of the principles of psychology, which are used into the justice system. Also, the fact that Napier University does provide us with the opportunity to work alongside with a professionals is something that I can definitely benefit from. Um, about the how do I see this course fit into my future plans? As most jobs actually related to psychology and to forensic psychology and to working with offenders require from us to have like a certain graduate degree, a postgraduate degree. I would definitely believe that Napier University is the right choice. It will, in graduating from there, will definitely open many doors for me to work globally as a criminal profiler, also working in legal services, probation services, working in courts, and working in prisons. So, because it will give me a good understanding of all the different aspects as a when studying criminology and forensic psychology. Um, about the criminology, um, I'm sorry, forensic psychology, and where my interest lies in the most. Um, First of all, the fact that it collaborates both psychology and a legal system is something that really fascinates me. And as forensic psychologist, does assist into a variety of legal matters such as mental state examinations of the offenders at the time of the offense, and deciding which treatment is the most accurate for that person, as well as the area that I'm mostly interested in, especially since the legal system strives to define and punish illegal behavior in an objective way. So, as a forensic psychologist, I'll be able to help them figure out whether the person was sane or insane, whether what are the different punishments that he or she can get. Also, I would like to expand my knowledge and skills into the criminal profiling, providing research-based evidence, and also providing evidence into courts. Um, about the criminology, which is the aspect that actually mostly interests me, I do believe that um, knowledge and knowing actually the roots of a criminal behavior is really essential, and being fully aware of what crime actually is and represents is something that should not be definitely neglected. Studying criminology will help me explore the sociological and the psychological um, factors that actually cause people to commit crimes. And one of the main reasons why I actually want to study criminology alongside with forensic psychology is because I want to try to help a bit of criminals to understand why they do what they do and what actually drives their urges to commit crimes and to be a and to their and their behavior to be more antisocial. And um, cut down the the social injustices in the justice system. Um, about my uh, I'm gonna talk about my dissertation that I've conducted. My aim actually was to combine two experiments that I have conducted. One of them was eyewitness recognition, and the other one was the physical stressor made with a cold pressor. So basically, I ended up having like the title, the stressed eyewitness, the physical stressor, the effect of physical stressor on the on eyewitness recognition and memory performance. My hypothesis was actually that physical stress will have a negative effect on the recognition of unfamiliar faces. I've used 30 participants overall, both females and males, with the age restriction of 18 to 29 years of age. I did allocate all the participants randomly into the control and to the experimental group. I did short crime footage that I showed the both conditions. The control group was just watching the video, and at the end I showed each participant a target absent photo array, whereas for the experimental group, while they were watching the video, the same video, they were under the physical stressor, and at the end I showed them a target present photo array. Basically, that were the two differences. These were the differences between the conditions. I've analyzed my data using the SPSS, and to find out whether my hypothesis was supported or not, I did use the chi-square test of associations. Despite the expected results, I did find that actually there was no significant difference between the two conditions. And the physical stressor actually didn't have much effect on the recognition of unfamiliar faces, which actually, if it was a reliable sample of participants, I would be actually happy with my results, because that would mean that the recognition system in course is actually reliable and the eyewitness is a reliable source of information. But in my case, only with 30 participants, that apparently was unreliable sample. Um, Regarding my volunteering work, I believe that volunteering is essential, as it gives you this real sense of actually and the real idea of everything you've read about. So I first started working as a volunteer in my university, so I can get the real sense of what volunteering here is. And after a while, I decided to apply for a volunteering job at the Terence Registrar for Scotland, where I started first being there as a receptionist. Then after a while, I started managing one of the main schemas there. So basically, I was managing all the paperwork, and I was corresponding with clients, and I was sending them the parcel that they were ordering. And since I'm working there for like a year and a half now, and I've been quite consistent with my work there, I've been invited to actually work with them in their new project, the Peer Support Scotland. And as a peer advocate, I'm supporting people living with HIV. I'm supporting them having one-to-one meetings. I'm also supplying them with information. I'm doing some researches for them in case they do not have internet access, or they need some further information on a topic. I can do this for them as well. This is one of the supporting the people. And then after, actually, I was working with vulnerable people, and actually had a real chance to have a contact with them, not just corresponding via emails or over the phone with them. I decided that I might as well just go for one more volunteering job, which is a little bit more related to the field I want to work in, and also I'll be able to get the essential experience in order to go for a postgraduate degree. So I applied for the Victim Support Scotland. I undertook my 3-day foundation training, And after that, I started working in the office, where I was still shadowing other volunteers in order to get my accreditation. I was I was attending one-to-one meetings with victims or witnesses of a crime. I was listening to their stories. I was being there with them, and I was getting actually the real feel. That's an experience that you can't get from any documentary, and I was realizing this slowly and slowly. Um, and I learned actually a lot, and it did this volunteering actually did help me to um, to make sure that this is what I actually want to do, because reading about something and actually doing it, there's two different things. Um, After a while, I spoke with my manager, and I asked her if I can just go to work in the court as well, so I can get some experience from there. Because this is what I actually want to work in. So I've been working in the Sheriff Court in Glasgow for a little bit over a month now. What I'm doing there for now is explaining what the courtroom is, who's sitting where, and who's gonna be speaking with them, what kind of questions they might be asked, and just asking any further questions that the people might actually have. Also, soon I'll start actually doing the court familiarization um, pre-visits, and explaining, not on the same day but a different date, what the same questions a victim or a witness might actually have. Just explain them, just go into the courtroom and try to comfort the person as much as possible. Also, I'll soon start be able to go into court with the person who's giving the evidence for emotional support. So that's why I've been trying to work as much as possible and to volunteer as much as possible, so I can just undertake the small steps that will actually lead me to hopefully be a forensic psychologist soon enough.